Yeah, so my name is AJ Colosimo. I am currently with Hollow Earth Radio. That's going to be known in the future as KHUH 100.3. And I am leading our low power FM committee. And I'm also very directly involved with our fundraising committee.
Let's talk about your LPFM license or permit to build at this point. You guys were in the second wave of LPFM stations to receive a permit to build. Talk a little bit about getting on the air and what you guys are dealing with right now.
Yeah, so right now we're dealing with quite a few different things. We submitted an extension, which was granted. So now we have until late 2017 to finish all of our construction, which is wonderful. As I mentioned, we are going to have to submit an amendment to our application due to changes in where our antenna is going to be placed. Right now, we're working on figuring out exactly where that's going to be. I'm getting in touch with some landlords around the block that we're currently on to make proximity as close as possible. We do have confirmation from the Seattle Girls School that we can use their building. So if a couple different things don't work out, we always have them, which is great, and we love them for that.
Talk about Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth has been around. You guys have existed as a streaming radio station for a number of years.
Yeah, so Hollow Earth is great. I've only been involved for a few months now, but I do know that they were started by Amber and Garrett, and I believe they started it out of their house way back in the day. This was probably it was somewhere between 6 and 9 years ago that they started it. It's completely community station, DIY, very, very DIY actually. Pretty much anybody's welcome to stop by off the street to either get involved or just say hi. That aspect of it's really great. It definitely feels like they're trying to provide something to the community, which in this case is the Central District of Seattle.
And Hollow Earth plays a wide array of music, and I know you guys have some shows going on there. Are you guys still hosting shows in the space?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I myself just hosted a show there on the 17th. With it being Magma Fest month, we're hosting probably 3 shows a week there, with more lined up in April. And these shows are anything from folk bands, punk bands, weird electronic bands. Went to one show earlier this month that was some live poetry, jokes, improv. We've had this month we had a talk about LGBT characters in comic books. It's anything under the sun.
What kind of efforts are being made with Hollow Earth to fundraise and put your signal up, get your station onto the air, and keep your station running?
Quite a few. So our Indiegogo campaign was completed in January and was successful. We actually exceeded our fundraising goal of $25,000. We ended up raising $27,000 and change. As far as fundraising goes, we are working on actually putting together those perks and sending them out. We also applied to a pretty wide range of grants, and there's a few of those in progress, one of which would go directly towards some equipment purchases, not our antenna, but equipment related to emergency alert systems and those transmissions which are going to be required by the FCC for emergency preparedness. That's just a requirement for any broadcasting station. So fortunately, there's a grant that, if accepted, will allow us to use that money specifically for that kind of equipment. MagmaFest is also a fundraiser. That's the entire month, and all events at Hollow Earth, a small portion of that go towards the station's operations.
As you guys transition and gear up to get on the airwaves, what are some of the changes you think will happen with the station?
Yeah, there's definitely going to have to be a few changes. I don't want to say changes so much as a few things to keep in mind, especially with FM broadcasting. We're going to be subject to FCC regulations at that point in time, which streaming stations really get a free pass when it comes to quite a lot of things. So there's going to be some frameworks as far as programming, in particular, mic breaks and having to avoid, calls to action or anything like that, and really keep an eye on how we're promoting events. That's going to be a big change. Outside of that, I'm honestly not sure. I'm really interested to see what kind of response we're going to have from the community once we actually start broadcasting on FM. If we're going to see a lot more people interested in DJing and getting involved with the station, or what's going to happen there. And I think that might dictate a lot of what the future will look like moving forward.
Well, it's an exciting time for Hollow Earth, for LPFM, KXSU, Seattle University station, just launched up there in Seattle. It's exciting to have that on the airwaves. It would be really exciting to get Hollow Earth on the airwaves. The diversity of radio that Seattle will have to offer in a very short time will be impressive.
It's going to be incredible. And yeah, that's really great about Seattle U's new low power station.
Hollow Earth is pretty open, pretty easy to access. It is a good community forum, it sounds like. What do people need to do if they were interested in getting involved with Hollow Earth?
Yeah, so that part is, to me, it's super easy. You just show up on the first Sunday of each month at 6 p.m., and our volunteer coordinators are going to be there. Other volunteers show up. Alternatively, you can also email our volunteer coordinator to set up an alternate time if you can't make Sundays at 6. From there, it's really just a matter of what you're interested in. If you want to DJ on the station, then you would be working with our programming committee to get that set up. You can host shows, you can get involved in social outreach, fundraising. There's really everything.
What are some events that you have coming up for Hollow Earth Radio?
Future events at Hollow Earth. Actually, tomorrow night, which by the time this airs is going to have passed, but we have one event coming up that's a really awesome rapper named Do Normal with DJ Reverend Dollars. We also have our very last Magma Fest event of the month, which is on the 31st. That's going to be Underpass, Morning Coup, Annex, and Arcane. I know Chung Antique is playing the first weekend in April. I believe I'll be doing door at that show. They're playing with Ostraca and Eduardo Fernandez. And there's definitely other events that I'm forgetting about right now.
Right on. Where can people go to find out more about what Hollow Earth does, hear Hollow Earth, and also check out the event calendar?
Yeah, so there's really two spots I'd recommend checking out. If just for general information, I would say check out hollowearthradio.org. But for events in particular, definitely Hollow Earth Radio on Facebook. Like our page, check that out. We post a lot of our events there.
I've got one more question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
What is it that you love about radio, AJ?
Oh no, how much time do you have? Man, honestly, I love everything about it. I love it as a medium. There's so much history in radio. I mean, there's so many different applications of it. You look at the role that radio served in England, during the bombing of London, through current challenges with iHeartRadio in the mid 2000s, early 2000s through today, and then kind of this second wave resurgence of community radio. The history itself is really great, but I guess the sense of community and the really wide range of people that get involved in these stations is really incredible to me. And it shows just how much people are willing to give, both in terms of time, effort, money, you name it, for something like a radio station, just to have that in their community, have something to listen to when they're in the area. It's really great. I love it. I love the fact that they support, well, at least college radio and low power FM supports a lot of local artists, businesses, musicians, you name it. It's kind of like a, hey, we're all in this together type of situation, which is, it's hard to beat that.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk to me about Hollow Earth Radio. We look forward to hearing you on the airwaves.
Yeah. Thanks for the interview, Ryan.